Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth. I'm your host, the Game Master, and in this one, we're going to be talking about Invincible, Omni-Man, the Viltrumite invasion, the Flash, just all sorts of stuff. But before we really get into it, make sure you smash that like button, check to see if you're still subscribed, and as always, leave us a comment. That helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, but also we love hearing from you guys. We have an awesome community here, and it's all thanks to you. So thank you so much for being here. And you'll have to forgive me. You might be able to hear it in my voice. I'm starting to come down with a cold, so bear with me. I apologize in advance that I'm a little bit hoarse. So, okay. The prologue to this one takes place in the year 2021 because that's when the Invincible animated series came out. So we were trying to kind of do an homage there. And just as in the animated series, the character of Omni-Man, who's more or less like an evil post-crisis Superman, basically, right? He takes out his world's version of the Justice League, right? So in our game world, we have this ship called the Nematon, and there were a bunch of characters on it who were heavy hitters. He tries to pull that same thing with them, but in our world, he failed. We played it out. We rolled dice. We do what you do in a role playing game, right? And he got overwhelmed by the team and he ended up leaving. So he's gone for a few years, and after a while, everybody kind of forgets about him. So that was it. That was the prologue. Then we get to the main body of the adventure, which is very, very simple, is he comes back with the cavalry, basically, right? From his point of view. He brings like the entire Viltrumite race, basically, to Earth to do what they do. And so the way we decided to run a Viltrumite invasion was to break it down into many games. And then each one is pretty much just a fight. And something else we did was we kind of figured out, like, what is sort of like the surface area of the earth? How would we divide that up between every member of their race? And so we kind of did the math there, and we realized that if you are, like, say, in a single city block of, let's say, for the sake of argument, New York City, right? And if you encounter like one of these Viltrumites, he's probably the only one on that city block because we said they had spread out, right? They fanned out. So it wasn't like, whatever, you're at Madison Square Garden or something like that, and you have to fight 1,000 of them all by yourself. It wasn't those kinds of games. So we ran a thing then where it was just the Flash versus a Viltrumite. And if you've followed my podcast for a while and you've heard other Flash videos, the tactics here are going to sound very familiar to you. If you look at the Flash's character sheet, in terms of his body, Flash really can't take a hit, right? Like if like a pre-crisis, excuse me, I meant to say if a post-crisis Superman punches the Flash, which is essentially what you're looking at with this Viltrumite invasion, right? Flash is just a smear at that point. He can't take that kind of damage, right? Flash's tactics have to be something that keeps him from getting hit, right? And so if you use your super speed to not get hit, then you can't use your super speed to attack. So in our humble opinion, if you're playing the Flash, there's really only one thing you can do that makes sense, which is at the beginning of the game, tell the game master, unless otherwise stated, assume I'm dispersed. Dispersal, by the way, is the power that lets the Flash walk through walls. The idea there is he is vibrating his molecules so fast they can pass between the molecules of other objects or people, as the case may be, right? So we call it a drive-by. but that's kind of the idea is the Flash starts every round vibrating to the point that he can walk through walls and stuff like that, right? And then when it's his turn to attack, he, as his first automatic action, he says, I turned that off so that he becomes solid, right? Automatic actions, for those who don't know, by the way, it's something you do that you wouldn't have to roll dice to accomplish it, right? That's an automatic action. In DC Heroes, you get two of those in one dice action. So your first turn, you turn off dispersal. Your second turn is your dice action. That's where you punch the enemy, right? And since it's the Flash, he doesn't kill, right? So it's going to be knockout damage only. And then for your final action for your round, which is going to be another one of those automatic actions, you turn that dispersal right back on again. So then the idea is when it's the Viltrumite's turn to attack, what's he going to do? You're like a ghost. He can't physically, his hand's going to go right through you, or his eye beams or whatever he's doing, he can't stop you. So we ran it that way. And so then you might be thinking, well, so the Flash just, if he can't take damage, then like he eats these guys alive, right? Not so. Because since he will only knock them out, they get up pretty quickly after they've been knocked out. So the Flash is like accomplishing nothing. So I would call this first game in this series just a draw. It's a tie because nobody stayed down, nothing got accomplished. And I guess you could say that what this first game session showcased was how hard Viltrumites can be to deal with, you know, and that was pretty much that. Um, the end of the game session, the epilogue of it, was that Hal Jordan is trying to fight these guys. He's not having any luck. So he calls on the Green Lantern Corps. And then the Green Lanterns show up to try to help out. That doesn't work so hot, though, because they don't have the same powers as the Flash. Like the Flash was able to keep himself safe the whole time. The Green Lanterns are having a rough time of it. Even though we said there were 3,600 Green Lanterns, and all of them showing up someplace is pretty rare, but they will do it if the situation is bad enough, and a Viltrumite invasion is bad enough, right? So literally all the Green Lanterns in the whole universe dropped what they were doing and came to Earth to deal with this. But there are more than 3,600 Viltrumites. So that was a problem. And the lanterns were having to do stuff like one guy would attack while other people made shields. You know what I mean? Because with the lanterns, they don't have enough actions to alternate between kind of like offensive and defense. You know what I mean? So they had to pair up. And so let's say you've got like Hal Jordan, John Stewart, right? So let's say Hal makes shields while John is subbing force manipulation for like an energy blast, you know. And and again, for the most part in our game, the lanterns don't use lethal force. So that's a problem, you know. And it's almost like two different genres of comic books clashing. Because on the Invincible show, there's plenty of lethal force, like famously so. You know what I mean? So the Viltrumites are not at all holding back. So they are killing lanterns and stuff like that. But the lanterns are trying to just subdue them and get them back to the science cells of Oa. And so far, it's not working. And that's really kind of it. That's a good stopping point for this one. This whole thing was not really so much um as story oriented as it was, as this is sort of when my channel just started to take off for the first time, had a lot of new viewers for the first time, who knew nothing about my game world. So this was more kind of about me talking about my game world. But I've been doing it for a year now, and I feel like I don't need to explain as much, so that makes this video pretty short actually. But yeah, that's what we were doing about this time last year. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about it. Oh, before I go too far, I mentioned this recently, but it's important enough. I really want to mention it some more here. Um, for the last year, I've been doing a channel about 40 years of gaming, right? That we started in 85 and now it's 2025. And so I had 40 years of adventures that I could choose from to make videos for you guys. And I've been doing daily videos for like a really long time now. But that was never the original thing of the channel. A year ago, I went back and I was looking at my videos. When the channel started off, I was only doing one video a week. And the idea was we would play a game on like a Saturday. And then usually on Sunday, I would make a video about it. And then I was dropping it on Monday. And that was it. And then like every Monday, there'd be like one video from my channel. Um, so very soon here, I'm going to be running an X-Men game on Saturday afternoons. On Sundays, I'm probably going to make the video about whatever happened on the X-Men game. And then during the week, I'm going to do the drop, right? And I haven't really quite decided yet if I want to do like one long video and do it like once a week, or should I maybe do like break that game into like three videos and do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I still haven't quite decided yet how I want to tackle that. But no matter how you look at it, um, we're not going to be doing daily videos anymore. Um, if you guys would like more videos, I could do like mailbag type stuff. Or there have been some people that kind of want to learn how to play DC Heroes. If you guys are interested in that, I could just do a whole thing about here's the rules of the game. Here's, we could start at the very beginning of the DC book and I could just go through the whole thing and explain the whole thing to you. I don't know how many people would care though. So let me know if that's something you would be into. If it's not, I won't do it, obviously, right? But at the end of the day, the point is we've been playing catch up and now we're pretty much there. We're caught up. So I can't keep doing the channel the way I've been doing it because we ran out of years, for me to tell you about. So yeah, let me know in the comments section where you guys are at with all this. I will try to communicate with you guys in turn about where I'm at, what's going on my end. And yeah, that's it for me today. I hope that you liked this one. As always, we would love it if you supported the channel by hitting like, making sure you're subscribed, and leaving us a comment. And from everybody here at the longest running superhero role playing game on earth, we hope you have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.